Few things make people go broke as quickly as acting wealthy. But you know what's better than acting wealthy? Being wealthy. Wealthy people spend like they're broke. Broke people spend like they're rich. That's why the wealthy are rich and the broke are poor. Financial icon Dave Ramsey is often teaching financial principles to help people better their financial lives. According to Dave, here are 10 money drains sabotaging your wealth. Eating out. Just $15 for lunch every weekday runs you about $300 in a month, and that's just for lunch. 72% of Americans order takeout or delivery for dinner at least once a week. Roughly 73% of adults buy breakfast at least once a month, 43% order pizza at least once a week, and 65% order dessert at least once a month when dining out. In fact, more than 50% of Americans' food dollars are spent on food away from home. You could argue that eating out saves time, but is that really true? On average, people spend 42 minutes per meal when eating out in a restaurant. Plus, 7 out of 10 people admit it's far less healthy to eat out. That's a lot of money and time wasted to put your health and money on the line. Ramsey suggests you plan your meals. This would help you avoid eating out, have generally healthier alternatives, improve your skills in the kitchen, and perhaps save a few bucks from it. On the topic of eating out, let's talk about that coffee habit. Almost 75% of Americans drink coffee every day, and more than 30% purchase coffee from a coffee shop. It may not sound bad to spend $5 on coffee, but if you buy it 5 days a week, that's $100 per month, $1,200 per year. If you're in a situation where you owe debt on credit cards or don't have an established emergency fund, then there's definitely a better use for $1,200, especially when you realize that 6 in every 10 individuals don't have enough to cover a $500 emergency expense. Credit card debt. This is probably one of the biggest stances Dave Ramsey is adamant on. Broke people shouldn't have any business with credit cards, but unfortunately, it seems like they just can't do without. Debt gives many people the ability to look like they're winning when they're not. What they might be doing is digging themselves deeper into a hole that'll be harder and harder to escape while using a quick fix. According to Ramsey, credit cards allow you to buy things that you can't afford with money you don't have to impress people you may not even like or know. Credit cards are maxed out like it's a monthly hobby, usually on things that aren't necessarily needed. This also leads to paying ridiculously high interest rates, and individuals can often find themselves caught up in a financial trap that they struggle to escape from. What's truly concerning, though, is that according to some Ramsey Solutions research, 24% of Americans rely more and more on credit cards just to pay normal bills, and with inflation high and rates going higher, it's a sure bet those numbers will continue to increase. So not only are poorer individuals using credit cards to purchase items they don't need, they're now also using them for items they do. Entertainment. Everyone is allowed to have fun. We're social creatures. But some of our biggest money wastes happen on entertainment, particularly smoking and alcohol. In fact, Americans spend over $80 billion on cigarettes alone per year, with the average individual spending around $2,000 to $3,000. Imagine what an extra $2,000 in savings could do. Alcohol is yet another money sink, whether it's going out to bars or staying home and ordering in. Plus, not only do these habits take our wallets on a wild, expensive roller coaster ride, but they have a knack for landing people on the worst side of our health. Outside of smoking and drinking, though, we should still be mindful of how much we spend on entertainment, including concerts, sporting events, movie theaters, and even hobbies. These have the ability to drain our funds just as quickly. Instead, look to have fun and entertainment doing activities that cost little to no money, including hiking, cycling, or participating in community events. Overdraft fees. Overdrafting a bank account can lead to hefty fees, and these fees are no joke. On average, overdraft fees are around $30 per occurrence, and according to research from Financial Health Network, almost 17% of American households pay overdraft fees. Let's say you accidentally overdraft your account by $20. If the bank charges a $30 overdraft fee, you're now in the red by $50. Overdraft fees can stack up quickly because they often apply to each transaction that pushes your account into the negative. This can turn a small oversight into a major financial headache, or a continuing one if it happens month after month. Extended warranties. Extended warranties are rarely worth the money. They often have high deductibles and exclusions. An extended warranty for a TV might cost $100, but the deductible might be $50. If your TV breaks, you will still have to pay $50 out of pocket. That's why Dave Ramsey believes extended warranties are a waste of money. He encourages people to do their research and make sure they really need one before they get it. Subscription services and cable TV. 48% of Americans still use cable TV, and they spend on average over $100 per month. In truth, cable TV bills have grown by over 52% in the last 3 years. Consider cutting the cost and finding ways to save big with cheaper alternatives like streaming services and network apps. While alternatives should be considered, be cautious of the number of subscription services you sign up for. In a world of streaming services, magazine subscriptions, music services, plus fitness, software, and video game expenses, they really add up to a layer of subscription costs that totals over $200 for the average American. While each subscription may not break the bank collectively, they can consume a significant portion of your budget. This is especially true if you're not actively using all the services you're subscribed to. It's easy for them to slip through the cracks, leading to unnecessary expenses. Dave advises looking for free alternatives to paid services whenever possible and regularly auditing your services to see which can be cut out entirely. Impulsive purchases. Think about it. Do you really need 6 different watches? Those electronic devices, or the kitchen appliances you only used once? The earlier you figure out what you actually need, the sooner you'll stop buying everything that's marketed to you. Broke people find it hard to differentiate between needs and wants to control their finances. And because they can't do that, they find it really hard to save any money from the $5,000 the average American spends on impulse purchases per year. That's a lot of money to wash down the drain by buying things you don't even need. Dave Ramsey suggests having a waiting period, 24 to 48 hours. After this time, if you still need it, then go for it. If you forgot or don't want it anymore, then it was never a need and you've saved your card from one less swipe. Lottery tickets. Ramsey believes that the lottery is a burden on broke people and those who can't do math. If the lottery were a true wealth-building mechanism, rich people would be in line, but the lottery is a government-sponsored ripoff, according to Dave. This is not a moral stance. Rather, it's a mathematical and statistical truth. According to studies, lower-income zip codes spend 4 times as much on lottery tickets as the rest of the city. The lottery, or any form of gaming and gambling, provides false hope rather than a ticket out, an unfortunate idea poorer individuals miss. Expensive dates. Date nights are special. You get a chance to get to know each other, have fun, and blow off some steam after a rough week. There's just one small snag. Or maybe it's a big one. Date nights can get super expensive. From going out for drinks, desserts, and brunch to going to the movies or other special events, these expenses can run as high as $200 to $400. Do the math. If you go out twice a month, expensive dates can spawn misery for your finances. Just be cautious and aware of how much and how often you're spending. Home improvement. Be careful and smart about how much you spend on home remodels. Very expensive ones are often not worth the money. The average cost of renovating a kitchen with the most up-to-date smart appliances is around $160,000, with 52% of costs recouped. Instead, limiting your kitchen redesign to a mid-range price point will result in significant savings. A modest makeover costs an average of $80,000, with a 56% return on investment, and a small kitchen redesign costs roughly $30,000 with a 70% return on investment. Don't get too caught up in the best and most expensive remodels. A little goes a long way. There you have it, 10 wallet-draining moves Ramsey himself has cautioned against. Protecting your wallet against these choices will help build your wealth faster and with less headaches. If this video was helpful, share it with a friend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.